This episode of the Jaguar Football Podcast is brought to you by Lorenzo's Tacos and Burritos, located at 1841 Old State Route 21, addicted to tacos. Hi everyone, I'm Carl Bierock. Welcome to Week 10, the postseason of the Jaguar Football Podcast. And with us today is the head coach of the Seckman Jaguar football teams, Dr. Nicholas Bear. Coach Bear, thank you for joining us. And a very exciting game on Friday. And even before your team took the field, a lot going on at the Valley.
Yeah, huge crowd on Friday night for senior night. Watching the boys walk across the field pregame with their parents and to kind of hear, their senior moments, their senior quotes, and to kind of, for me too, an opportunity to really reflect on, the relationships I've had with those guys the last 4 years. And when they come in as freshmen and then now, essentially leaving as grown men, it's a lot of fun to see. And it's definitely a special moment for the boys and their parents.
Yeah, I sensed, a lot of pride from you and your coaching staff and just the atmosphere. That was my first senior night I ever attended. And just looking up into the stands, and they were a friendly group. I can only imagine what it's like for visitors coming to the Valley and seeing the place packed. They're loud. It's quite an atmosphere to take in. And, hats off to, the staff at Seckman and everyone else involved. It was just a great way to preview an exciting football game.
Yeah, our atmosphere, what we've been able to do at our games with our home crowds and the band and the cheerleaders and the pommies and just the overall entertainment value of coming out to a Friday night football game. I mean, it's the cheapest ticket in town. $5 to get in, a couple dollars for a Valley dog, get you a popcorn and watch some good football. Anytime we get the opportunity to do that, and Friday night was one of them, it's a great thing. So keep inviting people out, and let's see how long we keep this thing going.
Yeah, well, I mean, just from your email that you sent out over the weekend, going 9-0 for the second time in school history. Congratulations on that. Then four-peating as conference champions. You have to be feeling really good about where you are right now.
Yeah, when we started the season, I mean, you can't be better than undefeated. I mean, 9-0, it's a tremendous accomplishment. Second time we've done it in program history, and it's one of those things. You play over a stretch of 9 games. I mean, you're bound to have one game where you don't show up, or a game that causes you have a couple turnovers and it doesn't go your way. And that just hasn't been the case for this team once again. And we've been successful just because of the consistent play that the boys have been able to do week in and week out. And then, Friday night to also secure that 4th straight conference championship. I mean, I know we've won 4 in a row, but the previous 21 years, we had never won a trophy or any hardware in the history of the program. So, anytime we can continue to add to our wall in the weight room is something special.
No doubt. And I imagine you keep in touch with, some of your classmates, for those that don't know, you played here as well and went here as a student. What does this mean to you and the folks that you, suited up with on Friday nights?
Yeah, I always have a lot of folks reaching out to me, guys I've played with, people I know around the community, guys that have played for me, and everybody's just really happy right now to see the success of the program. Because they were here, when it wasn't that way, and that's all anybody ever wanted. And to see the program being successful, to know that we're doing things the right way, it's starting to build that excitement with some alumni and people that are connected to the program.
Well, we are certainly excited about what the future holds here. We do have the first round bye, and we'll talk a little bit more about the playoffs here in a moment. But you said you had some plays here that you wanted to highlight for us from the game on Friday, and it looks like we're starting off with an offensive play.
Yeah, we talk a lot about, what it means to be a Seckman football player and the things that, we require out of our varsity athletes, to be on the field and to start. And, one of them is wide receivers. And, we've talked a lot about what it means to be a Seckman football wide receiver. And, oftentimes you find yourself working out on the edge and blocking, more than you're catching footballs. And this is kind of one of those plays where, it could have just as easily been, another 5 or 6 yard gain for the Jaguars. Instead, because of the effort of our two guys here on the edge, Kyler Huckfelt and Devin Gosser, this is 6 points for Seckman. Really this play is designed here, inside run play. All right, we're trying to run this ball inside. These guys know the ball's not really supposed to be coming out here. Pretty easy, take a play off. Maybe I don't need to put off all the effort that I normally would. But what will end up happening here, we're going to get a bounce from the tailback. He don't like what he sees in there, so he bounces out, and these two got to go to work. So we'll go ahead and watch these two. Okay, ball's running. All right, you'll see him bounce out to the edge. Okay, immediately, Kyler Huckfelt going to work. All right, Devin Gosser latching on. These are tough blocks. All right, obviously Brady Ambrose doing his thing, making a guy miss. You're going to watch these two create a perfect alley. And it's 6 points for the Jaguars. So, really it could be pretty simple for, a guy on a different team to kind of stutter step off the ball, jog it out a little bit, and 12 comes up and makes the play, and nobody knows any different. But the effort from these guys on the edge, all right, to come out, latch onto the safety, latch onto the corner, be physical, leads to 6 points.
Yeah, I recall, we've been recording these podcasts since April, and I remember over the summer leading into camp, there was a question, I believe, from a junior Jaguars about playing wide receiver, and that's just the perfect illustration of what it takes to play that position here at Seckman.
Yep, no doubt. You have to bring the physicality, you have to be selfless, and you got to be willing to play for the team.
Okay.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, then this next play, hey, you put the work in, you block on the edge, we'll throw one up to you. You're going to have to earn it if you want the ball thrown to you. So this play here, it's actually the same sort of concept, same formation. Okay, you probably saw in the last play too, Kyler Huckfelt kind of gave one of these, and Devin was starting to release. Well, now instead of running it, all right, they're in the same formation. Now we're going to pass it. Quarterback sees man coverage here, one-on-one. He sees what he likes. He's going to throw the ball up to Devin. Ball's in the air. Okay, you kind of just got to put the ball up in the air, let the guy make a play. A little bit underthrown. So what you're going to see here, and I've talked about this a lot, Devin Gosser, these are one of the things you can't teach, that body control, the ability to slow time and space down, to turn, control your body and make a catch. I mean, this is just a fantastic, and I'll run it back a little bit, fantastic play by him. Extremely athletic. Okay, that's something, not going to lie, tough to coach people. It's almost something that you have, and it's something that he's continually working on, and we see him do it all the time on the practice field, so it's not really a surprise for us.
Yeah, I wish your video had sound, because if you could have heard the crowd when he made that catch, it was like the ooh,
No, everybody. I mean, if you weren't entertained by that one, then we ain't going to get you with much. I'm going to tell you that.
No, that great, tremendous play, great concentration, just an amazing catch, and
for sure,
it was very nice to see. So, looks like we have another offensive play.
Yeah, talk about the guys on the edge a lot. Okay, this one right here comes from the big boys up front, the offensive line. And, I know we've all heard the expression, the hole was so big you could drive a truck through it. Now we're going to show you what that means. So this is our counter play. Okay, so weak side of our line, down blocking. So you're going to see Jaden Owens and I believe it was Zach Sellen there at this time, just completely eliminate and drive their guys over to this side of the ball over here. Okay, so fantastic job by them. We're going to get a pull out of Tyler Jackson. All right, he's going to kick this guy coming straight upfield. Fantastic kick out block. And then you're going to see Isaac Perry pulling around, coming right here for the middle backer. All right, so do me a favor. Don't watch the football. Okay, let's watch the right side of the line first. Watch the right side of the line first. You'll see the wall created. All right, so those two guys started here. That side of the line started here. They moved both of those guys to here and here. All right, so that's quite the movement. We go back, okay. Let's focus on this block right here. This guy's going to come upfield. Tyler Jackson, boom. kicks him out, creates the gap even bigger. Boom. So now you see this hole coming right off Tyler's butt and right off of Jay Nowens and Zach Sell. And now you can see if you had a truck, maybe even a Ford F-150, all right, you're driving that thing through it. And obviously, this is a great opportunity for Ben Lewis, who has gotten really fast the last couple of weeks. I've told him the same thing. So to just kind of bust it up through there. And I believe this was 2nd and 20 at the time. We had just got a holding call. So a huge play and a big moment of the game. Touchdown, Jaguars.
Yeah, that was one of Ben's 2 touchdowns that he had on the night. Tremendous play. And you're right. I think you could drive a semi through that, or at least a couple F-150s with the size of that
you know, it don't always work out that way. It ain't always that pretty, but man, when it is, you know, when you get that type of movement up front, you know, it makes it a lot easier on the back, and it's definitely a thing of beauty that you can see from the drone footage for sure. That you may not see from the
great
sideline.
Play, and looks like we have some plays here from the other side of the ball.
Yeah, transition to defense a little bit. I mean, we've been really getting, you know, I talk a lot about the D-line, a lot about the linebackers. We've been really getting a high level of play from our defensive backs this season. You know, obviously Ethan Shamel down here, number 11, playing at a very high level. You know, Joe up here playing very well for us. And then our safeties, Compton. And this past week, Colton Fowler and Seth Maxwell. And then along with, obviously, Jackson Rutledge, who had done it the previous 8 weeks of the season. So just kind of one of those things, too. We talk about what does it take to be a corner, all right? Where are your eyes? Where are you looking first? Well, we can see the eyes of both of our corners are where? They're in here, okay? They're not looking at the football. They're watching his head right here, okay? Their eyes aren't out here. Their eyes are right here on the offensive tackles. We get the motion. We see the heads pop up, so we know it's pass. These both boys are working directly into their back pedal. All right, Webster Groves throws up a football. We call these 50-50 balls, really, because 50% of the time you're going to catch it or get a pass interference call. 50% of the time, you know, the defense is going to make a play. And, well, on Friday night, these weren't 50-50. We were 100%. You know, we've been doing a great job with these balls in the air the past few weeks, and it's something that we're going to continue to work on and hopefully carry out through the playoffs. But you're going to see Joe go up here, make a really good athletic play on the football. Everybody loves to see a good play from the corner. You know, so on one play, you got to be willing and ready to athletic enough to defend the deep ball. Great play there. On the next play, okay, you got to be willing, all right, to come up and stick your nose in a play and set the edge. And, you know, going back through the film, this was just an absolutely fantastic job. We're going to get a pass read here again, okay, because they're going to run a little swing route out here, okay. Very important for the corner. They're going to get that pass read, so they drop. They're going to be deep here, all right. If we stutter step right here, all we do is create space. You're going to see the corner here come back, and then you're just going to see him set the edge here like a bullet shot out of a gun. This guy's got nowhere to go. Gives Dylan Lappy, Dom LaGrasso, Jack Compton an opportunity to come clean this thing up. Boom. All right. Doesn't necessarily make the tackle, okay. Flies up there, boom. Nowhere for that guy to go. He's got to turn it in, and that's where all of our tacklers are. So back-to-back plays there. You know, you got to be willing to go up, make a play on a football, on a 50-50 ball, and then you got to be willing to stick your nose in there, take on a block for a linebacker to make a tackle. So 2 really good plays there by our corner.
Yeah, certainly, you know, in your email, you talked about how well the defensive plays has been going this season. It's their second shutout of the year, and they're averaging just 7 points given up per game. And even, again, you know, referencing just the conversations that we had with this podcast over the summer, like, you know, everyone has a job to do, and you rely on that other, you know, 10 to, you know, make the correct play. And so it's just great to see this going on, especially at this part of the season. You know, it seems like
definitely when you want to be clicking, definitely when you want to see guys doing their job, and you know, now we're going to see how much can we really do it when we're under pressure, you know, when we're tired, when the moment's big, you know, that's when you come to the playoffs, those are the things that matter. So, you know, that's what we'll continue to work on. Then I want to kind of highlight 2, not necessarily back-to-back plays, but in the same series here for our safety, Jack Compton, you know, playing once again at a very high level, you know, for what we need. and he's very willing to get up into the run game. So I'm gonna let this run. You can watch Jack here, and then I'll kind of break down what he does. Makes a touchdown saving tackle here, and I'm gonna show you how. So he gets his run read. All right, that running back squirting through. He's right here. Jack's right here. Without Jack, 6 points Webster Groves. Okay, no shutout. Now, something that we talk to our safeties about, things like that. All right, you get your run read. Okay, very important that we tell our guys you got to work down and at a right angle to the football. Okay, you make your run read, you work down and a right angle to the football. If Jack makes a run read and then starts taking an angle this way to cut this guy off, it would be a very easy, once he squirts through here, very easy cut back, too much space, 6 points Webster Groves. Okay, but you're going to see how Jack comes down and then straight across. Down and straight across to make this play. Straight across. Now there's no space. All right, if Jack was here, Jack took that angle from here to here, this kid's athletic enough, cut it back. Jack's got too much space. It ain't going to happen. But instead, Jack makes a shoestring tackle. Now Webster Groves has work to do to put it in. And, I just have a lot of confidence in our defense. Even when they get down to this area, our guys have shown a really they just don't give up. They're going to force you to execute and get into the end zone. Webster Groves runs one play, a double reverse. We stop them. They get a false start penalty on another. Now they're back. It's like 3rd down and 10. And a great opportunity here for Jack once again to step up and make a play for the defense. Now he's got his pass read, got his guy coming across. All right, ball goes up to 2 receivers. Jack comes down with it. Yeah, would love to see him just stay in the end zone there so he doesn't give me a heart attack. Every DB thinks they want to go 100 yards to the house, okay? But obviously if he steps out, goes back in, that's a safety. Or if he comes out, gets tackled at the 10, now we're at the 10-yard line. Stays in the end zone, we get a touchback. Now that ball's on our 20-yard line. And the defense is holding on to the you can see us all over here. Watch down here. We all get a little excited, and then we all start going to our heads down here. Oh, no. Oh, no. So it's like stay in that end zone, go down, live to fight another day. So really fantastic play by Jack, and just once again, one of the reasons why, our defense has been able to be successful.
Jack's having a great year. I believe that's his 2nd interception in as many games. Mm-hmm. Tremendous play, back to back, literally, like you're talking about, that kept that goose egg up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and hopefully me showing you those things, those are just kind of those little things, those little angles that help get our guys in the right spot to make those plays. And those are the things we got to remember as we start this time of the year.
All right. Looks like you have one more play for us.
No, that was it. I'm out.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the first play.
We'll tease that for 2 weeks
right.
when we come back. So, with the record that you have and going undefeated and taking care of the business that you have been talking about all summer long and all year, you have earned the right to have the first round bye. And mm-hmm. So your opponent has yet to be decided. They have to play. It's either Oakville or Northwest. But what's it like playing that familiar opponent 2 times in one season? I believe, we had Oakville last year twice, and I think in the playoffs, going back, we may have encountered some familiar opponents.
Yeah, playoffs kind of bring, and I know it's the old adage, when the playoffs start, everybody's 0-0, and that's, I don't work in cliches, but it's the truth. Right now, we're in a single elimination state tournament bracket in Class 6. Win and move on, lose, and, we're turning in our pads in the following Tuesday. So, I told the boys on Friday, we're going to fight for our football lives every time we step on the field at this point for the rest of the season. And, I mean, playoffs are fun, whether you've played an opponent or not, there's just that little bit extra in the air because the stakes are just that much higher. And that's really what I love about this time of year. And, right now, this week, we got a first-round bye. And we've got 4 days of practice this week, and it's an opportunity to focus on Seckman football, make Seckman football better. And, that's really where I'm trying to get our guys' mindset as to where we need to be. How can we become a good playoff team? What do good playoff teams do? this time of year. And those are the things I want to focus on and make sure that we're doing. Starts with execution. That's obviously something we've been able to do all year. Is that something that we can continue when the stakes are a little bit higher? Can we execute our blocks? Can we execute our leverage on defense? Then it really comes down to the physicality. Playoff games, the pads pop a little harder. That's just the reality. The more physical football team, most definitely, most of the time, is going to come out on top. And that's something we've been able to hang our hat on, and it's something that we got to continue to do over the next month of the season.
Yeah.
And, when the stakes do get higher, can we be mentally tough? Can we be mentally tough to go down on the scoreboard? Something we haven't done yet, and continue to fight back. Can we be mentally tough enough, to feel that pressure? You talk about that pressure. Hey, this could be it. There's no when we leave practice on Thursday, there's no guarantee we're all going to be together that following Monday, getting ready for another opponent. So can we be mentally tough? Are we? We're certainly not going to admit to being mentally weak, but can we prove that we're mentally tough? That's really what the challenge I'm going to put to the boys this week and as we go through the next couple weeks of the playoffs. And then last but not least, I mean, it really comes down to the good playoff teams have leadership. They have guys on their team that they can look to. And for us, we count on everybody for leadership. We count on the seniors. This is it. 98, I mean, I don't even know, 99% of our guys never put a pad on again. So, can we come out to practice and continue to make sure that every rep matters, just like it did in July? And, those are the things that, especially this week, I'm going to be focused on. And then, obviously next week we'll have the winner of Oakville Northwest, and that's kind of where my attention will go to.
Yeah, certainly. Those two programs know each other. They played last week, and so it's that seems like that first round or two. It's like the familiar opponent, and then you start getting into different sections of the state. So we'll be watching as well to see who our opponent will be, and of course we'll keep you updated on our Facebook page. But Coach, we're talking about varsity in the postseason. Today, later on today, our JV and freshmen wrap up their season. There is no postseason for those divisions. Wanted to give you opportunity to have you address the play of those two programs.
Yeah, both lower level programs having a lot of success this year. Obviously it's great to go out and compete and win on the scoreboard, but it's really been fun. When I look at the freshman team, to really see their development from that first couple weeks of July, or even the first couple weeks of May, from when we started getting in the weight room, and then to now, how much they've come together. They've took a loss together in the Kirkwood game. How did they respond? Well, they came out and did really well. I forget who exactly they played the next week, but I know they came out against Parkway South, played a really tough game. Last week was a bunch of fun. They got to play Fox again. We were able to get everybody in the game. Lots of smiling faces. Really fun way to start really finishing out the season. And let's see if they can carry that into their game against Chaminade tonight. When it comes to the JV, I feel like it's been a very successful year. We've rotated about 70 to 75 dudes through the JV, something that, very few programs are able to do. We've used it to get guys ready for varsity. You're going to see guys on the field in the playoffs that took a lot of JV reps this year to get ready because they weren't getting them on Friday night. And then we were able to also get our sophomores on the field that aren't dressing for varsity and continue their development, make them better. We didn't have a great game against Eureka last week. It's kind of one of those things, last minute, that we weren't really quite prepared, but it was really fun to watch them go down to Jackson and compete with their JV team and really be in it all the way up to the last snap. So very proud of both lower level groups, the seasons they've had, and we'll be having some conversations going forward about, what do they want next season to look like. It's kind of one of those things where if you want to be a varsity starter, that journey can't start junior year going into senior year. It's a 3 and 4 year process. And that's something that I'm going to have to work on getting those guys to understand, and they'll have to understand if it's something they want to do.
You mentioned the same thing, with this current group of seniors, and you expected leadership to come from them, and it seems like you're seeing those same traits in the folks, rising through the program. So the future looks very, very strong.
Yeah, it's really good to see these guys pick up on things from this senior class. And then obviously those juniors passing it down to them and so on and so forth. It's really makes my job easy, and it kind of shows kind of the culture base we've been able to have here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we, we're going to focus on the here and now, but we always look forward to next year as well. Just want to remind everybody, we do have our social channels. Check out our Facebook page. We continue to grow and post exclusive content. We do have some great highlights from both Ben and Brady on there that were just uploaded in the last couple of days. So be sure to check that out. And Coach, we're on our time here. So here we are. We earned the bye. You get to kind of put in the messaging that you're looking for the boys to take and carry over into their game here in about 10 days or so. Wanted to give you the floor and have you take us out.
Yeah, a lot of things I talked about on here are the things that we're going to be talking about all throughout the week with the varsity team, and making sure that we are in the right mindset to play our best football this time of year. And when reality comes down to it, there's only 6 or really 7 teams if you count the 8-man bracket. There's 7 teams in the state of Missouri that finished the season with a win, and they're called state champions. Everybody else, the other 350 something plus schools will end their season with a loss. And if we're going to end our season with a loss, it's something we're going to be proud of. We're going to go out on our feet, playing our best football, and that's the message going forward.
Well said, Coach. And we'll keep tabs on who our future opponent would be. And we just thank you and the staff and the boys for a tremendous regular season. And now we can't wait to see what happens here in the postseason. So thank you so much for your time, and really appreciate all the insight that you have brought to us today.
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day, Coach.
Yep.